It's time for the October Horror Movie Marathon Reviews! All the Chucky movies in the past have been great, although there's one that's not. See the Chucky. People are going to go, yeah, that's the least favorite out of all of them, and it is for me, and I own it. That's a crime. But the new one was released, and I was excited for it because I saw the trailer and I was like, oh shit, I'm excited for this. Yeah, I know at the end of the boy I said The Strangers was the next one, but I messed up. Yeah, it's a thing, I guess, but whatever. But the next one I saw was the second movie, and that is going to be 2017's Cult of Chucky. Now, I was excited for this, despite what was going to happen to all this, but yeah, this is great. So, this movie is about Chucky as he returns to terrorize his victim Nika, who's confirmed to an asylum for the criminally insane. Meanwhile, the killer doll has some scores to settle with his old enemies, with the help of his former wife. Now, I don't want to say much about this movie at all without spoiling it, but oh my god, there's a lot they did in this movie. There's a lot. There is a lot, and this to me anyways, in my opinion, maybe other people might think different from what I'm gonna say, but honestly, this was great. Not the best one, but it's great though. What helps is that it's a interesting movie, and it's kind of weird to all the stuff they said. But like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it at all because people might want to see it because they might. But movie horror sequels, like I said before, they don't work as much. This one delivered, and this is like what the seventh movie out of the Chucky movies. That's a shock, despite some of them aren't the greatest. This is number seven. Number seven. It still keeps going, even though it's straight to DVD. Yeah, it says a lot. Let's talk about the acting. But first, I think the director has done other ones. Yeah, he did. He did see the Chucky. Well, that's awkward. He also did Curse the Chucky, which is a decent one. A good one. He's written in all the other Chucky movies. Child's Play 1, 2, 3, and Bride of Chucky. He's written all those with his directing, also Seed and Curse of Chucky. And he came back to write and direct this one. So I was like, alright, it's part of the guy that's been doing the Child's Play movies for quite a while. Chucky movies. So, maybe this could work. You got people returning from other movies. Let's talk about them. You got Fiona Dorff, who's back from the last one. Alex Vincent as Andy. He's back in the movie. That was a big surprise, despite all the other stuff they've been doing. I'll just say it's because she's here in it. Jennifer Tiffany, she's back. Brad Dourif is the voice of Chucky. He's back as well. A good amount of people is back in this movie, which is a major surprise. And then there is... Oh, okay, there's another, but I'm not going to say it. But the acting overall for those, they're good. They're not great, but they're good. They're having fun with this movie, and it's a Chucky movie. What do you expect, guys? This is the thing. And the writing in this movie is good. Not great, but it's good. It sets up the movie really well for what it's supposed to do, for what it is, for what it's trying to do. So yeah, overall the writing's pretty good for what it is. Now the setting. I don't do this as much, but let's talk about the setting. It's setting in the asylum, far away. Now, I thought that was cool. Have you seen in the third one, they did military. Come on now. Why would you not do that? They done that. So hell, let's just do a movie that they tried to do. Let's do an asylum now. And the setting of it is pretty good, honestly. It was interesting to see how they could pull it off. But you have all these other characters I didn't mention in the acting because they're there. They're there for one thing and one thing only, and that's for the deaths, probably. You don't expect that. You already probably knew this by now. But the deaths in the movie. Woo! I thought they were damn good. They were great. There's some that were really, really odd, but the way they did it. But even the ones that are spoilers, I'm not going to say what happens, but the deaths and those were great as well. They were a major surprise, despite the fact that, horror kills don't do well as much as they should have in the past. But for this, I was like, this is great. Not the best deaths, still, of Chucky, but, I mean, they're damn good. And, the atmosphere in the movie. It sets it up really well. They do what they have to do with the atmosphere. Sometimes it feels silly, but it's the fun silly. So you expect that for this movie. So overall, yeah, the atmosphere is also pretty good for what it is. I'm trying to talk more without spoiling it. The characters. Okay, let's talk about them. Most of them are idiots. There's a couple of them that really aren't. And there's Adam Hertig as Multiple Malcolm. He is at times, but he acts silly and it's fun. He tries to do what he can do. He's not all the way stupid. And Fiona Dorff as Nika Pierce. She does great as well. She's not always stupid. She knows. She's like, oh shit. This is going to be something that she's going to do and do and do. She's mostly in a wheelchair for the majority of the movie. So, I mean, there's nothing you can expect from her character, but it's what it is, honestly. And then the third act, without mentioning it, it's crazy. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Even through the second act, if you find out what's going on, it's crazy as shit. I was just in my head going, oh, so that's what this is. Okay. I mean, you got it. I mean, you got people. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll just talk about this. People might hate what's going on with this story. Or they're going to love what they do to change pace. But to me, I thought it was a good of a change of pace. Because you got to do something different nowadays for movies, for horror movies in general. But I think it was interesting. For what they were doing. Even in the beginning, I can't spoil it because the shit they do is so clever. It kind of is, in my opinion. I mean, it's not awesome. It's not a movie you expect to be like, oh, this is the movie I've been waiting for. Some might think that, but I wasn't that much because I didn't know what to think. But it was still a great movie. I think, though, maybe this is just me. To me, anyways, this movie could have done a little bit better for what it was doing. Some of the shit, a couple things don't make sense, but for what it is, I was enjoying it. But the third act is crazy, and the way they ended the movie was also crazy. And there's a post-credits scene that they had. If anyone's watched this movie or is going to, keep staying in the credits or go to the end almost, the very end of the credits, because there's something that could set up for another one, maybe. Without saying it, it could be something interesting. It's going to. I mean, what do you expect by this point? Movies like these, they're going to keep going, and we're going to keep getting more. So, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. But, I mean, okay, I mean, that's all I can say without saying it, but people will love it or people will hate it. That's all you can say with this movie, of how they did it. So, overall, I mean, that's all I can say without spoiling it, but, I mean, sequel, you're going to get it, people. It's obvious by this point. I mean, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep going for horror movies, which isn't bad in my opinion, but this was interesting how they did a new direction, it felt like. So, for what it is, I was fine with it. But overall, Cult of Chucky is a great movie, in my opinion, for what it is. The acting's good for what it is. Dialogue is pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's pretty good. The kills are great. A couple of them I just felt like, oh, that doesn't look the greatest. But it was still fun to watch. The new directions they're trying to take with this movie kind of did pretty well without spoiling it. The characters did well for what they were trying to do. For some of them being idiots, of course. I mean, some of them were major idiots. But all the stuff they did, the third act is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Even through second and first act, for some of the stuff, it got crazy. And then the ending was pretty interesting. And I thought it was good, pretty good for what it is. And then the post-credit scene I loved. That was great. It makes me so mad to wait for the next one. But I mean, for what it is, I mean, this is a great movie. I mean, it's bad enough I'm gonna get it higher than what it should get, in my opinion. But I mean, overall, I mean, I'm gonna give Cult of Chucky a B plus. I loved it. I mean, maybe new direction helps, but some people might disagree. And if it is, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, I ain't gonna stop you. But overall, I thought this was a great movie for what it was. A great seventh film for a Chucky movie. Holy shit, that's surprising. So yeah, that's the review for Cult of Chucky, guys, and for my October horror movie marathon. Stay tuned for this next one, where it is this time, 2008, The Strangers. So get ready for that soon. Until next time, guys, peace out.